Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Data Hack 2024 briefing session. And today we have our main organizer of this event. That is Dr. Rong from Data Science and Policy Studies. And we have Professor Bernard Soon and also Mr. Wick Chen from Kia, and also our library colleagues. I'm Lily and Carol and Kitty from the library. And also we have two co-organizers. That is the Departments of Cultural and Religious Studies. We have our students here. Hello. And also Miss Joyce, and she's from EPIN. So let's start our briefing session today. It's very interesting and a lot of content. So let's welcome Wick first to let us introduce.
Hello, hello. Well, thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to give a very brief overview of our today's briefing sessions. In today's briefing sessions, we will talk about the what, why, who, how, and when of our about our upcoming Data Hackathon 2024. So first things first. So I suppose we should talk about what is data hack in the very beginning. Data hack is actually comes from a very traditional computer science term that is the hackathon, and hackathon is derived from the marathons. So which means that we are going to have a marathon of doing some data solutions here. And the meaning of sorry. Oops. Can I and one more? Thank you. So we are going to like have very limited time frames, like 48 hours, and then your participants are expected to come up with solutions that is backed by data in this hackathon. And in this 48 hours, you are expected to use your analytic skills, your logical skills, and every different skills that you can use to make a final result that can help us to draw the insights from the data. And so this year's we are going to have a frame that is the data solutions for social goods. So we have two questions here. So what is solutions and what is social good? So for the solutions, actually we are like the data have unlimited possibilities here. And so we are also not going to set any boundaries with our solutions. You are free to choose from doing everything to have solutions from data, and those data will be provided by the libraries or from any open data that you can find by yourself. But since I suppose we have students from arts here only, yeah. So don't worry. Actually, people will think that data are all related to numbers or some quantitative stuff, but actually, we are looking for a combinations of the contributions from different disciplines. So even you are from the Faculty of Arts, you can have your contributions because we values the collaborations and we values the diversifications. You can if you are paying attention enough, you can see that our organizers are come from different disciplines, and that is what we values and we expect from you. So you can have a lot of contributions, and also we will have a lot of workshops to help you prepare, which will be introduced by Dr. Wong later. So another question is, what is social good? So actually, in a very broad term, social goods means that you are creating values for the goods for the societies. So it is very abstract. So we are going to adopt a much narrower views from the United Nations. From these pictures, you can see that that is the 17 um, Sustainable Development Goals proposed by the United Nations. And from these 17 um, SDGs, in the short form, they involve different aspects like the humanities and for the economy. And so you will see that you are going to have a very a lot of freedoms to choose in this data hack. And so I would suggest you to go through this or all these 17 goals before the commencement of the um, our hackathon, so that you are prepared and have some basic understandings of what you are going to achieve and what you can achieve and what problems that you can help solve by the data. So you can find it a lot of details from the United Nations website on the web. So thank you. So my final part is why data hack. So from this, actually we have much greater goals, or we are much more ambitious, but we are going to just summarize these 4 points. And from these 4 points, I hope you can find out what we are expecting from you and what you are going to achieve in this data hack. So, sorry. The first point is we are trying to help the participants to develop the practical skills for data and digital competencies. So I suppose you have heard that there is a new catchy phrase that means data is the new petroleum in this new era, which means that data actually have a lot of values that you can find, you can dig into it. So, but with those necessary skills, you will just find a series of numbers here. So in this data hack, we are trying to help you to develop your skills to understand, to make use of data. And just like I mentioned, we will have a series of workshops. So um, even you may not have the science background, you can also learn at least the basic skills to make use of data here. And the second point is is to provide hand-on experience. I suppose as students, you understand well the difference between assignments and the applications. When you are doing assignments, you are just trying to find out solutions for your teachers. But in the real world, it is totally different. So in this data hack, we are going to ask you to um, come up with solutions for the real world. So through getting your hands dirty, you will make better use and make yourself much more familiarized with the skills um, in for yourself. And the third point is multidisciplinary and multidimensional collaborations. As I mentioned also before, we value this part very much. So in the data part by Carol, we will talk about the team formations. We require students to from different disciplines to join their hands to work out a comprehensive solutions rather than just focus on one side, because data is not limited to just arts or science. We see that data can be contribute or get the values from different domains. So the final point is we encourage creative thinking and innovative solutions, because data is just tools to help you to make solutions or make an insights. But actually, when you are going to solve a problems, it is much more involved the humanities inside. You need to have some creative thinking to think out of the box to see how you can make use of those numbers in order to draw their draw better conclusions or make a better solutions. So that's why we need your creative thinking to think outside just the numbers to find out better solutions for the social good. And so that is a very brief why we have the data hack here. And I suppose the next part will be about how we are going to form the team, right? Which will be handled by me also.
Okay, so this is Kitty from the library, and this is our third time, okay, to hold the data hack already, and so the eligibility and the team formation will be still the same, okay, which means actually it is this event, our data hack is for all the CUHK members. Okay, no matter you are student, you are staff, you are faculty member, you are research staff, you are undergrad, you are postgrad. Okay, you are a CUHK member, then you will be welcome, and you can register as individual or a team. Okay, and if you are registered as an individual, then we will help you to team up, okay, to help you to find your teammates. And if you are joining in a team, then you will be in a group of for in 3 to 5 members, okay, and we have some criteria. We have one criteria on that, and among these 3 to 5 members, we have divided, okay, into 2 groups of faculties, okay, and CHK have 8 faculties, right? And so we have divided into 2 groups. The first group is group 1 will be for those traditionally, meaning not that high tech, okay, but I think that most of the students may have technical background already. Okay, but they have been that this for group 1 will be having faculty of arts, faculty of business administration, faculty of education, law, and social science. Okay, and then group 2 will be engineering, medicine, and science. And so if you are joining in a team in 3 to 5 members, the criteria is that both groups of faculties, okay, should be included. Okay. Otherwise, we will also help you. We may also help you to add a member of another group if you really cannot find any. Okay, so no worry of that. We have some successful cases this year, actually. Okay, um, one team that has four members originally. They are all from the CS. Okay, and then after some pre-hackathon workshops, they found their fifth member, who is from faculty of from a group 1. Okay, so no worry actually, because we're still having time for you to team up with, to find members for that. Okay, so then it will be Bernard's turn to explain about the assessment criteria.
Okay, thank you, Kitty. Uh, I'm Bernard. Nice meeting you all. May I ask the student at the back, can you tell me where you're from which faculty? Oh, just this two? Oh, oh, so just two representatives from the Department of Cultural, Religious and Cultural Study. Okay, okay. How about you? Where are you from? RA, and you? Oh, okay. Oh, sure, sure. Why not? Okay. Uh, okay. Well, uh, my colleagues have explained to you that we are planning to um, uh, host a series of workshops prior to the competition, the data hack, so that you'll be fully equipped with the necessary skills, and at the same time uh, uh, receive the opportunity to find members to form team. Um, Above all, you want to know, okay, I have the team now, so how does the hackathon work? Well, probably towards May, right? What's the time? What's our tentative time frame? March. Okay, March. Well, Casey, my colleague will explain to you about the timeline later on. So uh, when it comes to the Data Hackathon day, you will spend time with your team members, starting with Friday afternoon, and then a whole day on Saturday, and then by the afternoon of Sunday, you are expected to present your so-called solution, okay, data solution. So basically, you have about 2 days, unless you don't sleep, you stay overnight to finish your solution, and that happened too. Anyway, so you want to know, okay, so I'm going to deliver a data solution. How will my work be assessed? So this is the criteria for the assessment. So you can see there are 4 sections that contribute to the evaluation, and the percentage of points of each one is already listed there. You can see we have the innovation and originality section, the impact and public diffusion section, and then the feasibility and appropriate use of open data set section, and then lastly the collaboration and presentation section. So you can see the percentage taken up by each section. Well, I'm not going to read it line by line, okay? I'm going to highlight, but you can read it yourself. I'm going to highlight what it really entails for each section. So for the innovation and originality section, basically you want to make your solution stand out from the competitors, because they are, according to our experience this year, we'll have the competition next year, but this year we have team presenting the solution. I still recall we have how many? Maybe 10, 11 solutions? 11, right? So we have 11 team this year, okay? And think about it. You have to make your presentation, stand out from, the rest of the teams, and that's not easy. And the way to do that is you have to do a good job in studying, first of all, picking a good topic, okay? And then find out what other people have done with the topic. Like what you did with your, a class project, right? You have to do a so-called a literature review, or, studying what other people have done in the area. And obviously you learn from those good works, but you have to think of a new angle that other people have not considered or have not attempted, and you bring new values to your presentation. So I think that is probably the key. In the past, I've seen students, they think that they thought that they have a very creative solution, but actually they didn't do the literature review, or they didn't, do research to find out what other people have done. And then at the end, they present their findings, and then the judge told them, "You already saw that." And actually, from our experience in the hackathon, just this year, one team presented a solution, and that solution was almost exactly the same as a solution that was already presented the year before. They didn't know that. Okay, so I think doing research is very important to make your solution stand out. And another suggestion for you to really think about, the originality angle is sometime when you want to come up with something really creative for the solution, you have to think of something very creative to ask. Problem solving is only the second part. Before you solve a problem, you have to discover the problem. Newton, the apple dropped from the tree, and that inspired Newton to think of the law of gravity, right? So obviously Newton asked the question, why did the apple fall instead of going up, right? So asking a creative question is very, very important. So spend more time thinking about the question. But at the same time, my suggestion for you, okay, that come to the second point. When you, oh, before I go to second point, I also, want to elaborate on the last one. Okay, because this is about data, right? The solution has to be related to data. So when you find a problem or define a question to be solved with data, you have to ask yourself, where does the data come from? Okay, so in the workshop, we will demonstrate some possible source of data, and Wiki already mentioned about some data source, open data, and data provided by the organizer of this event. But there are other data that you can consider. For example, IoT, sensor. Okay, if you happen to team up with some science students who already know how to, build electronic circuit or a microprocessor that can be integrated with some sensors. So some data can be collected through sensors. Okay, and the data is actually signal, right? And some data can be obtained through images. Okay, you may scrape some images, from the open domain, or if you happen to have some camera, being positioned at a particular spot, and then you come up with a stream of video signal that you can capture and then later use for doing image analysis or video analysis. That's also possible. Okay, but all will go back to what kind of problem you want to solve, and why the solution call for video or images. So, and then API. There are organizations that provide API, especially nowadays. A lot of data science or computational social science research are related to so-called big data, and those big data derive from social networks, like by Weibo, WeChat, Twitter. Twitter is Facebook and Twitter, in the West, very popular source for doing data analysis and social network analysis. So you have to think of all these sources, and the judges will. One of the assessment related to innovation and originality is how you utilize those sources creatively to answer the question that you have come up with. Okay? Then going to the second one, impact and public diffusion. That is a hard one, okay, because you're giving only 2 days, and you have to demonstrate that your solution go beyond just the school. Okay, maybe you have to first ask the question when you address, the problem to be solved. Who owns Who owns that problem? Okay, is that problem pertain to a certain sector of the society, for example, senior citizens, or for example, those people who live below the so-called poverty line. Okay, so you have to define your target group, who has been bothered or whose life have been disrupted by that problem, and then the judge will say, okay, wow, the target you pick has a big impact. And maybe initially you may say, okay, I may not be able to target all senior citizen in one district or in the whole of Hong Kong. I may start with addressing the problem of 1 or 2 districts. Then you have to articulate how you can expand that impact or scale up that impact beyond just that 2 districts. Okay, so in Hong Kong we have 18 districts, right? So you may start with data that you collect from Tsim Sha Tsui, Mong Kok, and Yau Ma Tei, right? The traditional so-called Yao Jin Wang area, okay? And the district data that you can get from the government, and the district officers may be able to, the district officers may be able to guide you. You go to their website where those data can be found. Okay, so in your presentation, then you have to articulate how you can go beyond just a smaller target to a bigger group later on. Okay, uh, because of time, you can argue, okay, I start with a small one as a pilot, but later on, if the result demonstrate promising prospect in the future, then you can scale it up. So the logic to demonstrate how you can scale up your impact is very important, and then and obviously you have to articulate the goal that can be achieved through the expansion of your impact. Okay, and the goal, has been addressed by my colleague just now. Those 17, sustainable goals. And then you can, articulate in your presentation. Maybe your solution address a combination of a few goals in that 17 goals. And then going into the third section, I already mentioned it when I talk about the innovation originality. So basically, you have to demonstrate, the use of your data, okay? And again, they're all related. You have to go back to the definition of your problem statement, okay? What problem I want to solve, and what data can arguably demonstrate relationship with that problem, okay? Image data, numerical data, textual data, combination of the data, and also combination from the different sources. And then one thing that's very important is the word feasibility. Well, in short, the feasibility concept entails 2 parts. One is technical, okay? It's important that you really come up with a demonstratable prototype. Meaning you cannot just do a PPT with some points and with just some numbers that you make up of, instead of really using computational power to build a model to come up with the number. So that's technical feasibility. It has to have certain elements that people can verify. Okay. The second point is financial feasibility. Okay, because when you want to demonstrate that your impact can be expanded and be scaled up to affect more people, you also have to explain the logic behind it. Okay, if you expand your impact, does that mean you have to spend more effort collecting the data, hosting the data, coming up with the processing power, cloud service, support that will allow you to serve more people? So the financial feasibility involves some kind of cost consideration. Well, you cannot say that, oh, I built this solution, it will be beneficial to all people age 55 to people above 55. Okay, all the range of people that we call senior citizen. Okay, well, some people may argue, okay, it should start with safety, but you define, your population. But anyway, when you have to support so many people, the computational resources and the data gathering resources have to be factored in. Okay, So, but obviously, in your prototype, in your demonstration, initially you may not have the time to serve everybody. You may start with a very small group, but through serving the very small group, you can come up with some projection of some analysis and convince the panel that what will be the consequence like if you scale up your impact. So that is the financial feasibility part. Okay, and the last one, collaboration and presentation. As you heard earlier, one key purpose of the event is to promote interdisciplinary collaboration. So in your presentation, you have to outline the responsibility of the different individual within the group who contribute to which area of the presentation. Some people, let me give you an example. Some people may be very knowledgeable about the problem domain, especially when you have people coming from cultural study or social work or even journalism. Those people whose study or whose research work involve finding out different kinds of problem in the society, okay, and they can contribute, the content expertise to the team. Whereas those students who come from the engineering or computer science department, they are more knowledgeable in building the code to execute, the solution. So you can tell the judges, okay, which part coming from which person. So that is how the collaboration can be demonstrated. Obviously, you may even have some student coming from architecture or the art department, the fine art department, who is very talented in coming up with nice PPT or very good design, putting into even cultural study. Okay, student who can put it into the user interface or the prototype to make the solution attractive for adoption. Sometimes, the technical people, they are too into the technical details, but their solution may not be attractive. So people may not be willing to adopt their solution. So contribution from the different talents within the group can help to enrich the solution. Okay, and presentation is about the look, how attractive the presentation is. So I guess I have highlighted. One more point that I want to highlight. Adherence to relevant data and system governance guideline. Okay, this is a point often neglected by the team. You see, when you want to demonstrate to the judges that your solution can be expanded, can be scaled up to impact more people, you always have to think, as more people involved, more people's privacy, data access, opportunities have to be addressed. It's not easy to make data accessible to more people. Going back to my example about the senior citizen, old age people may not be willing to adopt technological solution because they are afraid of the machine. Okay, so when you want to expand your solution, you have to think about, okay, how can access be possible for a certain group of people. Okay, and also the privacy issue. Government has has deep concern about privacy. So don't come up with a solution that looks nice technically or even look nice aesthetically on the outside. But when it comes to implementation, the accessibility issue, the privacy issue have to be considered in your presentation. That's it. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Casey Wong. I'm from the Faculty of Social Science, Data Science and Policy Studies program. So remember, this data hackathon is for your learning, actually. You should treat it as a learning process. So if you think that you are not strong enough, for example, in data science, actually you can still participate in it because you can learn through the process. So in order to support, to provide support to the student who think that they are not strong enough, right? So at the moment, right, to take part in this data hackathon, we will organize, we will arrange a number of pre-hackathon workshops, right, in order to provide some training for you, right, so that you can in a better position to participate in the hackathon. So actually this year we have more hackathon workshop than the last year, right? I expect, right? So but before telling you the workshop, we have to explain to you the cycle of doing data science, right? We put all these workshops in the context of doing a data science project so that you can better understand what these workshops is about, right? What the things are you put it in a perspective, right? To understand the data science process, okay? Yeah. So this is a very famous, right? It's a cycle for doing data science projects, right? Which is taken from this book, right? This one, you look at there are many circles, right? These circles, they look the stages in doing a data science project. Right? Usually we start from defining the goal, right? So what problem you are going to solve, right? And then we move on to, because it is data science project, right? The most important thing is data, right? We need to think about how to collect the data and then how to do some pre-processing. Usually the data you collected, for example, from the web, right, from the other data set, are quite raw, right? It's not in the condition for doing the analysis. So before doing the analysis, you need to prepare, pre-process the data, right? For example, your data consists of missing value, right? Consists of some outliers, right? So you need to think about how to deal with this missing value, this outlier. So we need to manage the data or do some pre-processing, right? This is the second stage of the data science process. And then once you got the data ready, but remember, a lot of time we have spent on pre-processing the data, right? According to statistics, a data scientist usually spend more than 80% of their time just doing pre-processing, right, of the data, just cleaning the data, right? So because in order to guarantee that you have good quality result, you need to have good quality of data, right? Still remember in computer science, there's a good famous saying that's garbage in, garbage out, right? So make sure that you have a good quality data before you start doing the model building or analysis. So the third stage is to build a model. In modern data science, right, one of the key stages is model building. You need to build a model, right? It is the model that helps you to do the prediction, to do the useful work, right? To solve the problem, usually, is the model that helps you to do this, right? So in this stage, we build a model, and this model is usually the machine learning model, right? Maybe you haven't learned machine learning before, maybe, right? For the art student, maybe, right? In your curriculum, there's no course, right, teaching you how to build a machine learning model. But you can take, right? You can take course, this hackathon, right, workshop, in order to learn this machine learning. So after you build a model, and then you need to evaluate your model, right? To do some critique the model, right? And then usually for the modern data science, for the machine learning, we build two types of model or three types of model, right? One is for doing prediction, right? Classification, right? The other is for doing regression, right? The third one is doing clustering, right? All these, according to the model you build, right? The type of model you build, we have different different criteria for doing the evaluation. For example, for doing the classification, we have the some accuracy, we have the precision, we have the recall, right? We have the F1 score. These are criteria for judging the performance of the model. But for the regression, we have different set of criteria, right? For example, the average error, right? For example, the R squared, right? Okay, and then once you have a good model, right? And then you can present your result, right? You can present your result. So usually in data science, we put emphasis on doing data visualization. Right, so we can visualize your result, your findings, right? And then you do your documentation. Okay, finally, we come to the stage deployment of the model. How to put your model to use, right? To good use. For example, you deploy it through the website, right? Or you make a apps, right? So and then we got some skills here. For example, using the software Flash, right? Flask, right? Will be taught by Burnett. Okay, but remember these 6 stages is not in linear order. Usually, we do this and then we go back to this and then come back to here, right? It's we're going to and fro between the stages. Okay, then we move on to the stage one by one, and I tell you the workshop, right? So the first one, the collect and manage data. We got a lot of courses for this. Because in modern science, modern data science, the foundation lies in programming. We are using a programmatical approach to manipulate the data, right? So programming plays a foundational role in data science. So the first course is Python for beginners. I hope you have learned some coding yourself, right? It's quite interesting actually, because you can use the programming to create something, right? I'm teaching this one, right, in this semester for the year 1 student. They found it very interesting. So Python for beginners, actually I'm going to have 2 courses, right, 2 runs on that, right? So the first one already full, right, will take place in this Friday afternoon, right, 2 to 5. And then the second one of it will be in early November, right? So programming, and then second one, coding with GPT, right? Maybe ChatGPT, right? I hope you have, you should have, right? Use it, ChatGPT, right? Actually, ChatGPT can help you learn programming, learn coding. Actually, you type the problem, right, to ChatGPT, immediately or after a second, they can give you the program. They can run, right? They can give you the result, right? So this brings out a problem, or at least a question, whether we need to learn programming or coding in doing data science, right? Some say that it's not necessary, right? It's not necessary, but so that encourages students who have weak coding background can join this hackathon, right? Because you can get some help from ChatGPT or generative AI, right, to help with the coding, right? Actually, you can use tools that need no coding at all. There are low machine or no coding machine learning, right? No, also LOW, low, right? With need to coding background, right? So, the third one, the databases and SQL, right? Why we need that? Why we need databases? Why we need SQL? Think about it. We are collecting data in this stage, right? We are collecting data. Where can you find the data? Where can you collect the data, right? Database, we put your storage for data, right? Databases, right? There are different databases, but one is very pretty standard, right? The relational databases, right? So have you heard of Oracle? You heard of the IBM? Heard of the MySQL, right? All these are pretty standard, pretty popular database management systems, right? So you need to know a little bit about database management system. For example, I will teach you my SQL, right? And then the most important, you need to know the language for retrieving the data from the database, right? There's a pretty standard language for doing that. It's called the SQL. It stands for Structural Query Language, right? It's quite universal, right, for working with the relational databases, right? Okay, then another source for getting the data from the website, right? Web pages, right? So you need some skill in doing web scraping, right? And then, as Bernard just mentioned, right, we have IoT, right? We get the data from IoT, from the physical devices, right? So we have a course for IoT data sourcing with microbit that will be taught by Bernard. Yeah. And then in this stage, we collect data from various data sources, and then once you got the data, as I said, these are raw data usually, raw data. They are not in good quality, right? They are not in good quality for doing the analysis. So you need to spend a lot of time on doing data pre-processing, right? You find out the missing values, right? You find out the outliers, right? You think about how to deal with these missing value and outliers, right? So we have a course on data pre-processing, in which I will teach you pandas, teach you NumPy, Matplotlib. All these are open source libraries, right? Which will simplify, right, the data pre-processing for you, right? NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, right? All these are open source libraries. They are written in Python already, right? They are by someone else, right? And they are good enough, right, to share these libraries with you, right? You don't need to hard code all the functions, you just call from the libraries. So that makes the pre-processing very convenient, right? So the next stage is building the model. As I said, now in modern data science, machine learning is the key stage, right? We build a model. We build a useful model to solve the problem. It is the model that helps you solve the problem, usually, in modern data science, right? So machine learning becomes one of the most important things in modern data science, right? So we build a model, and that model will do the prediction for you. The model will do the classification for you, right? And actually, machine learning is different from programming. The idea is quite different. You feed data into the machine, right? And the machine will automatically learn, right, on their own, right? It's a very good idea, because usually for the intelligent behavior, right, solving problems, we cannot tell how to solve it, right? In traditional programming approach, we need to tell the computer explicitly how to solve the problem. But usually, for the problem requiring intelligence, we cannot explicitly tell the computer how to solve the problem, right? Right? We do the other way around. We feed data to the computer, and computer running the machine learning algorithm will build the model automatically for you. Will solve the problem automatically for you, right? That's the idea behind machine learning, right? There are different kinds of machine learning. For example, the supervised learning, we train the machine with label data, right? With label data. We have unsupervised learning. We train the model with unlabeled data, right? And then we have this reinforcement learning, which involves the interaction between the environment and the agent, right? Which is this one is more difficult than the other two, right? Okay, we have a course on machine learning, right? Okay, once you got the model, right, then you need to evaluate it, right? You need to see whether it's a good model or bad model. And there are different sets of criteria of doing this. Like for classification problem, right, we have this set of criteria. For the regression problem, we have this set of criteria, right? You need to learn these set of criteria. It's important because once you got the model, you want to check whether this model perform well or not, right? How good is it, right? So here we'll tell you the criteria for evaluate the performance of the model, right? Okay, and with the machine learning model, actually there are a number of parameters that you have to tune, right? Because now you got the open source library to use, right? You don't need to spend time on hard coding the libraries, right? Now the job of the machine learning, the machine learning engineer, is to fine tune the parameters of the model, right? Right, so that you can get a better model, right? The best model, right, out of the data, right? So this model evaluation is a key, right? Key stage to get a model, right? Okay, then we have now, assuming that you got a good model, right? But you have to present your findings, right? Present your findings. Then you need to do data visualization, right? In modern data science, right? We put a lot of emphasis on data visualization because human beings are visual animals, right? Right? We are visual more than 1,000 words, right? So in this part, we expect you to do some visualization, data visualization, and also you can design the web page, right? Is that in HTML, in CSS, in JavaScript, right? So we got these corresponding courses for you, right? So we see we got a lot of courses, right, to give you support, right, for training, right, to participate in the hackathon. And then finally, generative AI again, right? There's a course on prompt engineering for reporting, right, which will be taught by Will, right? Yeah. So, so finally, as I mentioned, in this stage, model deployment, you got a good model, right? How to put it to use, right? Then we got some software to help, right? So someone's quite famous called the Flask, right? How to deploy the model so that you can give it to the client 1, client 2, right, to use, right? Okay, that's all the courses we will have, right? You see, we have a lot of courses, right? So if you participate in this data hackathon through the process, you will learn a lot, right? That's the main goal, right, for this hackathon, right? The main goal is not the prizes, but the process, the learning the learning you gain through the process. Okay, and
Okay, thank you, Casey Wong. You have a great support and training for you to participate in this data hack. And now I would like to introduce some important days. The first one is today's briefing session. And then after this briefing session, we already scheduled some workshops for you to give you some basic concepts about HTML, CSS, and then Python, and etc. So the Pre-hackathon workshop already, some of them already is under registration. And then from October to 2023, and then until the early March of 2024. After the Pre-hackathon workshops, once you come back from term 2, we start our registration period from 8th of January 2024 until the end of February. After the registration, even you already have a team or only individuals, you can also do the registration. No worry about to form the team, because during the Pre-hackathon workshop, you may not only learn many knowledge from coding or data science, you can also meet other participants. So you may know each other, then you can form team with them. Even you have no team after the Pre-hackathon workshops. No worry about that, because during the data hack, the first day we will reserve some time for team formation. So no matter individuals or form team already, you can also do the registration first. Okay, and then after the important days, we have certificates. The library will offer certificates to acknowledge participants about the participation or winnings, such as you got the champion, first winner or second winner, and then we will recognize the workshop you have attended. Also list in your certificates, so that you can show that you can show others you already adopt some knowledge in these activities. And then the price is the most important, because the price is very attractive. For the champion, you got 8,000 e-voucher. For the first winner, you got 5,000 e-voucher, and the second winner also have 3,000 e-voucher. This for the whole team. So I believe it is very good for no matter staff or students. So I hope that can encourage more students to join them. Okay, and then now it's Q&A session. Do you have any questions?